Hi, welcome to BOL Diaries. I'm Katarina and I'm here with Charmaine, and Charmaine is a love alchemist. Are you a love alchemist, Charmaine? Can you explain me what this is?
Basically, I see everything as love or a call for love. And just like alchemy in the old ancient times, alchemy is the transition from one metal to another, one plant to another, one thing to another. And alchemy in a human is basically removing anything that doesn't serve you to get to your purest source. So that's what we do in Love Alchemy. It's a little bit of a process to get to the point where you are living in unconditional love and you can see yourself and everyone and everything.
That's really beautiful. And you do that through meditation or classes, or what is your tool to bring that philosophy to the world?
Wow. Well, it comes through in a lot of different ways. I do one-on-one coaching. Meditation is key in all my coaching. I teach meditation classes. I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher. I'm also a hypnobirthing coach. So I work hypnobirthing.
Oh,
Yeah. So
interesting.
I help couples have babies with
Uh-huh.
little to no pain through
Uh-huh.
meditation, going deep within. Um, Basically, doing the work. Part of getting to a place where we feel really good, we feel joyous, we feel love, and we know how to create everything in our existence is from doing the work.
And
Yeah.
what is the work? Let's get to the work now.
The work would include meditating. The work is going to include listening to your self-talk. The work is going to include waking up in the morning and starting to begin the practice with gratitude. Instead of picking up our cell phones, looking for that love from outside of ourselves, doing some stretching exercises to get us into our core, into our third chakra, writing down, doing brain dumps. Basically, we have 70,000 thoughts per blink of an eye, and it's a little bit overwhelming, all this brain chatter, but it's literally there for us to grow. This brain chatter is actually good for us so that we can get so burned by life, which is the first stage of alchemy, calcination. We can get so burnt by life, we'll feel judged, mistreated, betrayed, unloved. All of these things have to happen to condition us to become like that mythical bird, the phoenix, to basically fly out of the ashes and live from this place of bliss and joy and peace is a funny thing. I just saw this amazing thing the other day, and it was like, if you really wanted peace, you would have stayed where you were.
Ah, okay.
All the great teachers, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, all of them, on and on, Krishna, they all had a lot of work to do on this planet. They all went through the muck. The other analogy is the lily coming out of the mud, or the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. The earth gives us so many of these opportunities to see what it is to grow and to change, and that's what we're here to do.
So basically, you are saying that whatever hurts us and burns us is actually the place where we will get our opportunity from to be reborn in a way.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Okay.
You got it.
So how do people get it? Because people don't want to suffer. No one wants to go through pain and, anything that is not comfortable or not beautiful. And so if that is a necessary step.
Basically, each person's journey is going to be different, so everybody's process is going to be different. So we start with what is going on with you, because anything, if there's any dis-ease in the body, it's connected with some dis-ease of the mind, which is, say for example, one of my clients, he has a stiff neck. And so the thing is that when you have this disconnect, he was wondering why it's been bothering him for so long. And it's because the connection between the head and the heart isn't functioning. He's working right now from his head, not from his heart. So I suggested, or I asked him, what do you really like to do? Are you doing what you really like to do? And his business is not one that is making his heart sing, but it's bringing in abundance for the family. And he's also taking care of a 2-year-old. That's a lot of work. And so he's not taking care of himself. And so part of that process is literally filling your cup up first, finding all the ways that you can take care of yourself first. And be number one, because nobody is more important than you. Nobody is more important than you, than you, than you, than you. Nobody. It has to start here. So everybody's journey is going to be different. Another client, she's working with a lot of things in the endocrine system. And that stems from relationships with parents and not having great relationships with males. And the first thing is awareness. Everybody's got their story, everybody's got their journey, but once we become aware of what's going on in our body, why it's going on, then we can heal it. And then we work with there's a system. It's as if there's an iceberg. So the conscious mind is the top of the iceberg. The unconscious mind, the subconscious, is the bottom of the iceberg, the part that you can't see. So we really want to dig into that zone and see what happened from the ages of 0 to 6. Because whatever happened, that's what we hold as truth. That's what we knew as love. So we want to go in and we want to heal whatever it is that our little girl or little boy is still protecting us from. So that's also a process that would probably take a little bit of time to go through, but if you want to, we could.
I'm all for it, but first I want to know something about you, because I know you were not born like that, probably.
No.
So what is your journey? How did you come to that understanding about life and to, speaking that language of the universe, as you call it?
Wow. So I believe that we've had many different lifetimes and that we chose our parents. And so I chose my parents to learn about love, unconditional love. They ran a daycare and we raised about 250 children altogether.
Wow.
And my mom is still doing this. It's her passion. She loves it. She gives with her whole heart.
Where is it? Is it here in LA?
In Canada.
In Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If anybody has kids in Canada, she's in Saskatchewan. But and I had to get burned. I had to get burned quite a bit through the stages of the first stage of alchemy. Mm-hmm. I had to be betrayed, lose love, go through sicknesses, illnesses. And I just kept asking the question, why? What else is out there? I knew there was something bigger than me. And I think it all started with the beginning of just knowing love from my family. The greatest love of all. But they still didn't teach me what I do hope that parents can teach their kids now, which is you can be and do and have anything. It really is all up to you. You are the grand architect of your life. And you are in charge and you are constantly creating. And I just, it was the first time it happened for me. I was in a cab on my way to this big audition in New York. And it was for one
because
of the...
you were acting as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, of course. And I have a theory about that too. But I was on my way to this big audition, the best school in the world for acting. And I just closed my eyes and I envisioned everything, how it was going to go and what they were going to say after. And how I was going to do, how I was just going to blow them away with my work. And I did exactly that. And they literally, the words that I had envisioned, they said them. And it was the first time that I had created what I had envisioned because I had the energy. So that's what else I teach is how to create that space to envision what you want in your life. How to get so excited from a place of a neutral mind and how to let it in. Part of it is letting it in. And that's clearing away all the junk that's holding us back from receiving it.
So now, how is your day? Do you plan it ahead? Because you just said that, you had this experience where you visualized exactly what's going to happen. Do you plan your life every day, or how do you create? Where does it come from, and do you have rituals?
For the most part, I really try and stay in the present moment. Because we have 3 channels of creation. That first channel is the sexual channel. And that's a place where you come to zero because you're not thinking about anything. You're not thinking about what you're going to make for dinner or eat later or wear later to an event. You're right there in the present moment. And the second channel is meditation. So, but we have opportunities to create. So, and Esther and Jerry Hicks, they like to call it, I'm not sure if you've ever heard about the angels Abraham. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
I know. So they have a wonderful, wonderful, it's a practice. It's called segment intending.
But I haven't heard of that. Can you explain that just very quickly?
Sure. So every time you get into, you're on your way somewhere, imagine you get in your car. You're on your way. So I was on my way here.
Yeah.
So I was just envisioning how great it would be and how I'd meet some more amazing people, that I would make some new friends, and I would have a really great chance to share what I love to do and to shine.
And you are.
Yeah. Well, that's because that's the vibration that I sent out. So conversely, if I would have been on my way here thinking, this really sucks that I have to do this and I have these other plans, I just always know in my mind, it's another thing that everything's working out exactly the way it's supposed to. I'm always on time.
So it's the trust and the faith in your everyday life in a way that comes with the belief and the creation together.
Yes. It's coming from a place of, even in those times when you get burned, that you're in the greatest classroom that you could ever imagine, this classroom called life, and every single lesson is there for your greatest good. So if anything were to happen along the way, I would say, there must be a reason for this situation to be occurring. Even if somebody cuts you off, I immediately check in with myself. I'm like, what kind of vibration am I giving off? Like the other day, the traffic was just crazy. And I could see people were turning in front of me and cutting other people off. And so I just thought, I'm going to shift this. So I was driving and I started smiling like this at everyone. And you could see people's energy shift. They were like, why is she so happy? And so from that place, it's a choice. It's your choice. You can live in the muck or you can rise out of it. And I can't help anyone. I can't heal anyone. I can't do anything for anyone unless they really want change. And I always say I'm not a healer, I am a facilitator of the light. I will give you all the tools to heal yourself, because we all came down here to be healers. We all came down here to be teachers. Whether we take that opportunity to share or not, that is really up to us.
Beautiful. And one of the tools that you're using is meditation. Can you tell us a little bit more about how meditation entered your life and how it changed and transformed your life and how you use it in your teachings?
Okay. Whew. Let's just say meditation is hard, okay? When you first begin it. But wow, it's better than anything you could physically imagine. Once you get to that space of nothing, the ego almost wants you to take you out of it, because this is the healing room where our bodies are generally only there 2 to 3% of the time, and 95% of the time we're in fight or flight, constantly rushing, panicking, not in the present. So when we come to this space, now everybody's going to have their own practice, whether it be yoga. Yoga is awesome. Meditation, having a studio like BOL Meditation to come to. Community groups that are meditating. There's all sorts of programs. There's apps. There's Oprah and Deepak have a meditation 21 days. It's very simple, 20 minutes. They give you the intro. You start simply, and the practice will take you over and your life will shift. And the gravity of it is, it's a game changer. Everyone I know that meditates, their life is soaring. It's because finally you quiet the mind chatter and you listen to the message from above, and you listen to the message from your heart. And that's where the ideas come. That's where the flow comes in. That's where the inspiration comes in. And I'm so grateful that I've learned this practice, and it was from yoga. I used to go to church, and that was a practice, but I found myself in a hot yoga class, and basically I felt like it was church. When you came to Shavasana, I was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've seen a lot of the world, and I'm very grateful that I was exposed as a young child to 2 religions. One of them had a pastor that could marry and have children, and the other one couldn't. And so growing up in this fashion, I started to ask a lot of questions. And, because we all associate ourselves with the religion, with what we grew up in, because it's what we knew, and that was where we were getting our love and our food and lack of love, shelter, everything came from the home. So we trusted that to be truth. We took that as truth. And so that for me was a pretty big game changer when I started to look at all religions and I started to see how they were all connected. And I traveled a lot. I grew up in Saskatchewan in a small town, and by the age of 18 I knew I had to get out. So I actually got sick. I had a kidney infection and they said I was gonna die, and then it was just like, okay, again, time to get going, So I lived in the Rocky Mountains for a year, and then after that I decided I wanted to be a doctor. And so I studied pre-med and went through that whole journey of not having any time for anything. And I thought, how am I going to do this? I want to heal the world. I want to help the world, but it doesn't seem, at the time I thought it was time. But now I see what it really is that I love the medical field. I'm grateful for it, but we have the power to heal ourselves. Not always. Thank God there's certain surgeries and procedures and medication, but for the most part, most of the medications that we need are can be cured with, you know, we don't need them, essentially. There's a lot of over diagnosing these days. Anyway, I won't get into that, but so I decided to go into environmental sciences, and I took another journey into traveling, and I started modeling. I started going all over the world. I had a contract in Europe and Asia, and so I had that experience of, again, seeing the world, seeing the different religions, seeing it's a beautiful idea for young people to get out. That is one of the nonprofits I want to start, is helping young people to underprivileged kids to be able to go to a country they could never imagine going to, maybe Africa, maybe India, to see what's out there. It's, again, a game changer. So and then I came back, and I moved to Montreal, got another contract to model with Ford, and so they were able to send me off again, and then I got into this big school in New York, and now ended up in LA. So through all this travel, and through the desire to be an actor, the thing about actors is they really want this connection. They really, the way you're listening to me, that's what an actor wants. And they think that they're getting it on the stage, because it's just as good as having an orgasm when somebody is really listening to you. And so a lot of actors end up being spiritual teachers, because eventually they realize that what they're really seeking is that connection with their source, and that is always there. So once they dive into that connection with their source, they don't need this, because they give that and they receive that all the time. So so it took a long journey to get to this point, and not knowing what I wanted to do, till, you know, I got to a really ripe age where I was just like, I'm not married yet, I don't have children, I don't even know what I want to do.
What age was that? Because, you know, that is defined by many people in, a different way.
I know, 38.
So at 38, you were thinking that it was like the moment where you were like, okay.
Yeah, it basically felt like a little bit of rock bottom. Like, and I started hurting myself. I started accidentally hurting myself, falling out of a tree, picking lemons, hurting my lower back, slicing my middle finger open. There was one other thing that happened, and all of these things, like I said, everything is connected to the mind. It was all connected to self-love. I realized that in my mind, I was beating myself up, and I had a boyfriend that was telling me that it would be great if I was 15 pounds lighter. I was the same weight as I am. I was probably skinnier.
Wow.
But it wasn't him again. It was me.
Attracting that person into your life so you can feel the pain again.
Yes, you got
because you're familiar to it.
Yes, and because that's what I was reflecting.
Yes.
I'm just a mirror for everybody.
Yeah.
So basically, he was saying
Picking
to me,
up of what you were secretly maybe somewhere wanting to hear to heal. I don't know.
That's next level thinking.
Yeah.
Yes. Good on you. See, you know this work.
But how did you break out of it? How did you, realize that this is not rock bottom and it's over, but I can laugh at this. I can go beyond this.
I was also acting, struggling for money, making as much money as I was putting into it. And there, it just kind of went on and on down the rabbit hole, although I always had enough. I knew I'd always be taken care of. There was this underlying feeling of that. But I started asking how. how can this life be better? How can I shift? How can I change? What is my message? What am I supposed to do? And when you're asking the questions, there is always someone listening.
Yeah, but this is the next question. Who do you ask the question to?
I like to I call it God.
Mm-hmm.
God, the acronym for God is generating, organizing, destroying. It's a cycle of life. Or in my classes, I like to call it universe, so that everybody is included in this idea of generating, organizing, destroying. Uni means one. So it's all encompassing. Also, we all have 2 or 3 guardian angels. They're always waiting for us to ask. And they communicate with me through numbers. So they are listening. You can always ask. When you see 333s, that's an indication that they're waiting to help you. But we have been given free will. We've been given this choice. So we have to respond to that. We have to ask. And so I started asking. I was like, how? How can I shift? And I knew I wanted to be in the healing world in some capacity. So I started looking up all the different healing modalities. And I really wanted to teach yoga. And the specific school that I went to in India I couldn't get into it. And so then I happened upon Golden Bridge. And I immediately got hired there. And then I got into the teacher training, and the Kundalini yoga teacher training changed my life. That was huge, because it was like, wait a minute, you're made with the same materials as the stars, the sun, and the moon. It's all within you. So when you think you're some small, minuscule part of this planet, think again. We are all connected. It just blew my mind apart of how much I didn't know. And one of my favorite things, I got God bumps.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
One of my favorite things to do was learn. So it was just like, wow, something else I can learn. I just started sucking up all this information, reading. And I started reading I generally have about 15 books from the library that I'm reading per month. So, and constantly circling that and circulating.
And what kind of books? Where
to start? The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. That's a great book to start. Anything by Eckhart Tolle is amazing. Wow, I've just read so many. The Placebo Effect. That off the top of my head right now, I can't give you my book list. But if anybody wants it, please email me or find me on Instagram or Facebook, and I will give you a whole list of books.
Great.
Yeah.
I want it.
Okay.
I want the list. And I also, going back to that communication, because you said you were asking how, and were you writing down, were you sitting down, listening to the answers? How did you receive the answers? One thing is asking, but how did you?
When the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. I was ready. So all of a sudden, the information started pouring in. And let me tell you, it was a journey to get where I am today. It was a journey to understand about abundance, to let that abundance start flowing into my life, to be so confident that I don't even care what's coming out from my mouth right now, because I'm trusting it's coming from source. And to get to a place where I don't need a bunch of makeup or updo to impress anymore, because what's impressing is my heart. And so, I had to go through it, like literally go through this searching for at least 3 years. Now I'm 41, so here I am.
Beautiful.
What a journey to get here.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful
And
journey.
normally I wouldn't tell anybody that, But that's okay because I'm really ageless. I know, and my cells know I stopped aging at 27. So,
Yeah.
and all of my friends know that too. So it's a belief system. If I was to believe was supposed to be one way when I got into my 40s, I would be that way.
Yes.
But I believe that my body is young and vibrant and sexy and mobile and, fruitful. So it is.
So it is timeless in a way.
Yeah.
There's a way to be timeless and not to, believe everything that was said about age,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it means for our psyche and for what we want to do.
Exactly, because we have this collective belief. We have, it's the reason wars are started. It's the reason that shootings happen. It's the reason we still have prejudice. It's a collective belief. And so individually, we have to do the work ourselves. And recently, we did have this wonderful, it happens a couple times a year. There's a portal that opens. And recently we had another portal open. So again, the classes are full because people are waking up. They're like, hey, I can have a better life. I don't have to work this 9-to-5 job that I hate and that I am not happy with, and I don't see my family and I want to spend more time with them. That's another thing along the journey, is asking yourself over and over and over again, what do you want? All day long. Every single time that mind is chattering and it's like, well, I have to do this and I have to do that and I'm really angry about this. No, wait. What do you want?
It's like a meditation.
Yeah. Pretty soon you get into this place of you're in constant meditation. It's just a free flow with the universe.
Beautiful. Let's dance.
Yeah.
Let's dance. And just to get back to summing it all up for you, because you described all this beautiful, beautiful journey. And now if you can describe all the benefits that this practice, this meditation that you started, this, self-awareness, this asking brought into your life. What was like one thing after another? I know, we can't name it all, but maybe you can just start like, and then this happened, and
Yeah. Found the love of my life. And I manifested him. I literally just prayed for him. I was like, God, it'd be really great if there was 13 people in my yoga class, and that really cute guy that was in my yoga class about 6 months ago, that was in Tasia's yoga class, it'd be really great if he was in my class this morning. 2 hours later, that morning, there was 2 students, but he was one of them. And I can tell you many more stories.
I love them. Come on, just a few more. Just like
I was asking God one day for my car, and I said, God, what kind of car is it going to be? And I got really excited.
Oh, I just saw your card. Didn't I say I hate you? I remember.
No, but I got to tell you this story because I was ready for a new one. I was ready. I'm like, God, what is it going to be? Is it going to be a Land Rover? Is it going to be a Jaguar? Is it going to be a Mercedes? Is it going to be a BMW? And so I got really excited and I went hiking. And this is where I bring myself to a space of zero as well. It's another way you can meditate. Not everybody can sit here and still the mind just like that. You can start by walking. You can connect with nature. Nature will teach you how to meditate. So I started walking in nature, and I have a practice of helping. If the soul wants it, I just help them heal and release as I'm hiking. So I just went and did my walk and felt so great. And then I went to Trader Joe's after, and I got back in my car after I finished shopping, and I turned my car on, and in front of me, I kid you not, is a beautiful red and black Mercedes. And it has my name on the license plate. I was like, what? Within 2.5 hours, the universe had given me my car, had shown me this beautiful car that said NKA Char, C-H-A-R. And my name is Charmaine, and all my friends call me Char. So I was like, wow, wow, universe. I got so excited, got out, took a bunch of photos of it, took a photo of the car, and I got back in the car and I said, wow, universe, this is amazing. But how is a yoga teacher going to afford this? It is not your business to ask how. It is the universe's business. All you have to do is ask. So here I was, the universe, as soon as we say but, we negate it. We negate what the universe just gave us. So here I was negating it, but the universe was like, she's been working really hard. We're going to give her a second chance. So the girl that owns the car comes to her car, and I jumped out and I said, hi, my name is Charmaine. I really love your car. Where'd you get it? And she's like, Mercedes. And I said, I know. Where? She said, Encino, Mercedes. I said, okay, great. I said, and what does the license plate mean? And she said NKA was her initials, and Char means catch me if you can in Turkish, which is a story for another day. And then I said, do you mind me asking what you do for a living? And she said, I'm an esthetician. And I thought, wow, you can really be and do and have anything.
And that's a beautiful, beautiful takeaway from everything that you said. And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you again
Yeah.
for sharing those beautiful stories of manifesting, of the law of attraction, and of unconditional love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.